Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta. Big weekend for Georgia State. It was a great weekend to be a Panther, man.
Wins all around, right?
And with $1 beer, I'm going to need you guys to remind me why that was, because it was a blackout day for me.
Did you even spend $1?
I didn't spend any money in the competition. I went down after everybody bailed on me after the game. I walked down to Summerhill and I went to the Mexican restaurant. Is there a Mexican restaurant there?
Yes.
And I bought a beer. They gave me a free shot, so effectively that's like $0 in drunk logic, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I Ubered home.
Wait, did
and
you
went to
not stay
bed.
for women?
No, we stayed for women.
stayed for the
the
women's
Oh,
game.
okay, cool. Well, you said everybody ditched you, so I wasn't sure because I know
Well,
I
ditched me
left before the women's
they
game started. So
they ditched me after 6 hours of drinking $1 beer in the convocation in the box.
nice.
Men had a great week. Men's basketball had a great week. Beat ODU and App State. Women's basketball beat App State right after we did, which was awesome. We did because we're on the team. After the men's team did. Softball notched their first win. Baseball opens up the season with a 3-game sweep of Belmont. It was a good day, good weekend to be a Panther. It's awesome.
Let's just pause everything and just reminisce here for the next 6 months before football. How about
Shut the
that?
program down.
Glory.
Shut
We'll
the
talk
program
about
down.
Remember Valentine's weekend back in 2025? Oh, the good old days of Georgia State.
So I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but we're on like a streak here.
Yeah, was it a four games? 4-game streak?
4 games in a row.
I think that's the longest winning streak in conference right now. Jimmy Madison, who we face on Thursday, has a longer conference win streak, but they lost to Toledo in the MAC Challenge, so their win streak is not as long as ours. I think
in the MAC Challenge. Jesus, come on, guys.
Ryan,
It's a
everybody loses in it besides Georgia State.
Exactly.
How long can we keep that? They're going to cancel the MAC Challenge after the season, and we can just like hold that trophy, or are they going to bring it back and we can? We
can claim that they canceled it because of us. They could not overcome the behemoth that is Georgia State basketball, and so they had to cancel the whole thing. They were like, we're never going to beat them. We're not just going to take this L every year.
Should we join the MAC and just become the most dominant basketball team in the entire conference?
We already tried that with the Sun Belt,
and we were for a minute.
Can we not go to the MAC?
No,
I don't think we have it in us to actually do better. To actually like climb above everybody else and stay there.
I probably couldn't name 5 teams from the MAC. I couldn't. I know Buffalo's in it.
Just name any school that's in Ohio that's not Ohio State, and you're probably good. Name any school in Michigan,
Miami,
any school in Michigan that's not Michigan or Michigan State, and you're good. And you'll have like all but like 2 teams that are in the conference.
Okay.
They seriously have it. People talk about whether Louisiana Tech is on the list to be added to the Sun Belt should something happen. Like, oh, we don't want 3 teams in one state. And then you have the MAC of we have 6 schools in Ohio. Like, that's just what we do.
The whole in-state thing doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, why you? I don't know. It just seems like I've been a proponent now of playing the in-state schools because that's what gets people enticed. That's what gets people in the doors. And if you're playing them every year, guaranteed, that's a guaranteed good game. I mean, like TDS fills up our state. I mean, they don't fill up our stadium. We fill up our stadium when we play TDS, not fill it up. More people show up. And I think I saw a thing, and I know we're going to talk about it later, but the first time we played Kennesaw, I guess that's the current record for attendance at Center Park. So, you want to play those in-state games, they draw eyeballs. It's a good thing.
We used to fill up the box pretty well with the Southern, but for some reason they're scared of our new box, our new arena. I don't know what it is.
Up, though. Like our students even show up for that game. They fill it up. So
it is surprising though, because like the sports arena did get packed for those Trash Down South games, like literally packed. And I don't know if that's because students were at class, you could walk right over versus the box being a little bit more of a walk or a shuttle or whatever it is. But even the Trash Down South fans, when we were good, when we were really good at basketball, and we were beating the snot out of them, the Trash Down South fans. I remember that line just being like out there under Cortland, or was it Cortland? Whatever it is.
Cortland.
And then like we got season ticket holders get to walk right past those douchebags.
I felt so good.
That was so nice. It was so nice. But no, speaking of the in-state thing, like I posted on the Sunbelt message board after the Kennesaw game became official with the 26-28 home and home. And of course, some Trash Down South fans like finally Georgia State will have a true rival. And my response back to the guy was, I don't care what school you are, what state you're in, what conference you're in. If it's an in-state matchup, it's a rival.
Well,
it's a rival.
That you're even commenting on us. That is like not you on a game that has nothing to do with you. I'm sorry,
it's a rival,
but you're our rival, and you're acting like it.
I mean, how many articles were written about the start of the season with us playing Georgia Tech, and they mentioned in-state, inner-city rival? Like we'd never played each other before, but they called it a rivalry from the very beginning. Yeah, right. Because we're in the same state, we're in the same city, we're in the same area code. It's going to be it's going to be a rival, and I get it. I get it. They've been playing football since the dawn of time, and them and App State have been fiercely competitive. That's their rival. I get it.
Yeah,
it's not exclusive. We are in a college football. Sports in general are polyamorous. You can have many partners.
If you can find a reason to strongly hate every team on your schedule, you have 12 rivalries. Or 15 in our case next year.
Yeah, I think it's cute that Southern pretends we're not a rival, yet they're grossly obsessed with everything we do. They're probably more obsessed than some of our own fans. And that's
for sure.
Something. Like,
like, so obviously, obviously we're diehard fans, and and the diehard fans, that they all know who Ben Moore is. I think more Georgia Southern fans know who Ben Moore is than Georgia State fans do.
I believe that.
100%.
I would actually, I feel like that's a preposterous thing to say out loud. But if you give it like any kind of thought, I think it actually might be true.
But it is crazy. I mean, like the Southern fans, they literally search out news articles about us to comment about us. Like, the three of us, we don't search the shit out. They search it out. I don't search out articles about Georgia Southern to go comment about their podunk drainage ditch, bad water, STD infested, everything. Like, we just talk about it on this program. That's it. We're good.
I mean, I specifically don't want that in my search history. I don't know. If I died and somebody looked at my search history, I would be so embarrassed.
Yeah, all the adult stuff. I could not care any less.
No. Check out all the
search history. That's fine. But if you see one TDS thing in my search history, that's going to be embarrassing to me.
Exactly. Yeah. All my porn stuff. I mean, that is what it is.
You just go down those rabbit holes and see what Ryan's been in.
But you won't catch TDS in there.
No, that's right. I mean, and I've told you guys before, I'm so bad about it. I'm so petty about it that if I'm even trying to figure out who they're playing in their schedule, I will never click directly on them. I'll go to Georgia State's schedule, find them on our schedule, and then click on them. So at least we get an equal number of clicks that they do, and it got clicked from. It's not being looked at by anybody, but in my mind, that's the only safe way of doing it. I will never go to their site directly or look for anything.
I mean, probably the closest thing you get to for Ryan is like drainage ditch mud wrestling women, and that you might find that in his history.
Not drainage ditch.
Not drainage. He has a whole different drainage search, but it's not drainage ditch.
Nice.
Hey, all right. We got off track. I didn't
wait. Basketball.
Basketball.
We go back to that. We have 4 games left. Just 4.
4 away games left, right?
4 away games. We're playing the best the team's played since Coach Hayes started, and of course the Sun Belt strikes, and all 4 games are away. We actually have fans that are interested that want to come down to watch games, and none of them are here. None of them are here. Thank you, Sun Belt. You're hats off to you, Sun Belt. You're killing on the scheduling front.
But Thursday is a test, right? James Madison tied for first, the 4-way tie. They're 17-10. Like, if we can pick that game up, the next 3 are not terrible. ODU, Coastal Carolina sitting there pretty at 1-13, 8-19 overall, and trash
And
down
PDS,
south.
who we
And
already beat. And also with the Appy State game, I know they beat us, but sorry, Jimmy Madison. I know Jimmy Madison beat us already. However, I said they're on a 7-game conference win streak. Their last conference loss was hosting Appy State, who we just beat. So
could
if
happen.
Appy State can beat them at home, why can't we beat them at home?
That's
And that-
crazy. If they lose, they'll have 5 losses. We'll have 7. We're 2 games out from tied for first.
the standings are so ridiculous. There's 4 teams, Ryan, 4 teams tied for first place right now in the conference.
That's and it's mathematically possible for us to finish top half or something.
I didn't look at actually who all the other teams have, going up against. I think we're rooting for Marshall to lose over Appy to lose. I think from listening, we're reading what other people are saying. We're looking at best case like a 5 or 6 finish, but mathematically, it looks like there's actually still a path to first place. It's just highly unlikely. I think that they're
even
playing
top
each
half,
other. They're playing each other, so if one of them wins, it's still one of them loses. It's a win for another one, but mathematically, it's there. I just don't think the matchups allow it to happen. But yeah, we can still finish 5 or 6.
Yeah,
in the
that's what,
conference.
if we could finish in the top half of the Sun Belt. I mean, that tells you a lot about the Sun Belt because we have been playing very terrible basketball, generally speaking. I know lately maybe that's turned around a little tiny bit, but and honestly, the game we went to this weekend, I will say that that was an exciting game. I was really happy to watch it, and I never felt like, oh man, these teams suck. I was like, oh man, I'm watching a good basketball game. Finally, it's been a while.
It was good.
But that we can finish in the top half is so stupid. I mean, that's terrible. We've been playing terribly.
You know what
we
else?
haven't.
Well, go ahead.
No, Tim.
I was gonna say, you know what else is terrible? The Sun Belt Men's Basketball Championship bracket.
Oh my God, it's so horrible.
Yeah.
It's so horrible.
Do you have that image that someone posted that has like the teams as they stand today?
No, I do not have. I don't have that image. I'm looking at the bracket, and it looks like the flying V formation of some ducks or whatever. It's just it's so ridiculous. If you finish in the bottom 4 of the conference,
you play first round.
You have to win 7 games. 7 games to
do the champion.
Win the championship. Now, if you finish in the top 2, you need 2 games. You're immediately in the semifinals. For better or for worse. I know the whole thing is structured because they want to get the better teams into the tournament for the best chance of winning, but that's not been the case so far. We've not seen the top 2 teams necessarily win the conference championship.
No, it's usually some middling team that just surges right towards the end.
If we can finish 5 or 6, we go from needing to win where you thought we were going to be needing to win 7 games to do something down to 4 games. I mean, 4 games is manageable in a conference championship, and getting some teams that are fresh, not having just played, a little tired, not, let's just say tired, a little, not warmed up, not ready to go. It's a possibility. I'm not predicting that we win the conference tournament or anything, but
no.
I think the sweet spot's getting in that top 4, maybe even 3 and 4 may actually be a better spot than 1 and 2. But if we could find a way, we're at 7 right now. If we can find a way to claw ourselves into 6, that's fantastic.
You could tell your friends right now, yeah, we're going to get to the tournament. We'll get a double bye because we do have a double bye. But
it would be a double bye, exactly.
But I mean, you could have 5 levels of bye essentially, being it's 1 ridiculous. And 2. Like, I don't know. I hope this is experimental. I mean, I get what they're doing. They want top 4 teams to advance, so they want to let the bottom half of the bracket eliminate itself by the time it gets to 3 and 4, and have them eliminate whoever makes it there. But like, still, just it's ridiculous.
I know there's got to be some kind of agreement with Pensacola on us agreeing to bringing all the teams or whatever. But I really think those first 2 rounds should be played on campus. There's no reason to send 14 teams to Pensacola for potentially a week when it's not going to happen. They're not. I would love to see a bottom team actually make it to the championship game. That'd be great. That'd be fun.
Coastal
That'd be awesome.
Carolina. Coastal
But
Carolina.
realistically, it's just not going to happen.
No,
You know,
that's hard to do. Every day you got to play. Every day.
yeah. And what if you get a team like that that just like they catch fire and they start playing awesome, and then they make it to that championship game. They come in as like, say a 9 or a 10 seed, and they make it. I shouldn't say 9, right? Like a 11 to 14 seed.
11, yeah.
And they start just playing their best basketball, and they finally make it to that championship game, and it's just blatantly obvious that the legs are jelly and the arms can't move. They're exhausted for playing 7 games in a row, and they can't. You're like, all right, well, maybe that was the team we should have been sending to the tournament, but you wore them out, and maybe they make it, and then they're just dead tired for that.
What are they going to do then? If they're trying to protect the 1 and 2 seeds, are they going to like have a death tournament where all the lower teams, one team gets out of that entire thing?
What outside of just cutting teams out, is that the solution? Just taking like the top 6 teams, top 8 teams, is that the solution, or is there a better way to do this?
I like top 8. I think that's pretty balanced. You could find a team that's kind of in the middle of the pack, surging towards the end of the season, and they kind of tear things up in the conference tournament and get in. That's fine. I get they're trying to protect the top 2, but it just looks stupid.
You're trying to protect the top 2, and you're trying to maximize the number of hotels that are being booked in Pensacola. I think that's the combination of things.
Is that what we really strive for in the Sun Belt?
I'm assuming that's part of it. I have no idea, but I'm assuming that's just part of the agreement. The contract signed with them was like, we have 14 schools in this conference. We're going to invite all 14. You're going to have tens of fans in attendance. Yeah.
Hey, if we surge, I don't know. What's the championship? It's on Monday. That sucks.
Yeah, but it's a week before Selection Sunday now. They changed that whole thing up where it used to be playing that game, which I guess that's good at least, because if a team did actually, somehow magically make their way through the ranks to get to the championship, they actually have some time to recoup before playing in the tournament until they go against the 3 seed or something like that, 2 seed in the tournament.
Exactly. I wouldn't mind if they wanted all the teams to go, somehow having it be all the bottom teams like get out of one bracket. So there's one champion out of that mess of 7, 8, 9, 10, 7 through 14. One team gets out of that, and then everyone else is the remainder. Just to get rid of the trash. I mean, no offense, but get rid of the trash. Like, these are teams that probably don't belong winning the whole thing anyway. You're almost guaranteed a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament if one of those teams wins. So,
and none of it's televised. I guess it's all on ESPN Plus. Nothing's televised until the actual championship game.
I thought the semis were televised.
Not according to the bracket I'm looking at right now from the Sun Belt website. This is back from when they announced it in October or whatever it was.
That's a little disappointing.
And I think it's ESPN2 that gets the championship game, and everything else is on ESPN Plus. But credit to whatever's going on with the Sun Belt, because having 4 teams tied for first, if you are just a fan of college basketball, this has got to be the most exciting last 2 weeks in a conference to watch right now, to see who can actually come out on top. I mean, if you give a shit about this stuff.
If the basketball's any good.
What if there's an 8-way tie for first? That would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, there's tiebreakers involved.
I know. But it'd be funny if all the teams, there's so much parity in the Sun Belt that we're all tied for first. And they got to sort it out with tiebreakers.
So talking about the tournament and us where we could finish, with the wins we're on, the winning streak we have with 4 games left to go, has Hayes done enough to solidify that job for next year? Does he still have something to prove? Where do you guys think we're at? I think he's a lock to stay.
Ryan?
I think he already was, so I'm not too worried about it. He could have lost out, and I think he was still going to stay.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. I think lose every single game from here on out. Lose the first round. He's still
and the last 2 games still stays.
Yeah, and the last 2. Lose the last 4 plus the next 4, and lose the conference tournament. You're still in. You're still standing.
I was really confident, guys, probably right before that Buffalo game that we had seen the last of Coach Hayes, and I was an advocate for it as well. I think this small little win streak, be it what it will, even if we lose the next 4 games, and we lose the first game in the tournament, I think we'll see him back here next year.
So you feel like he's done enough with this 4-game winning streak?
I think he's done enough for Charlie Cobb to not put in the effort to find somebody else.
Yeah, sounds right.
So 12-19 is enough. If let's just say we lose the rest, the last 4.
Yeah, I think so.
Ugh.
I think so.
We've fallen.
I know, right? I know.
12-19.
Maybe things are coming together. Maybe Coach Hayes has figured out, we're losing some seniors. We're losing, is it Cesar Edwards? Am I saying Cesar Edwards, saying his first name correctly? Yeah. He was voted. He came in Player of the Week in the Sun Belt.
He's been on fire
after his performance. He's been playing fantastic, but he's a senior. He's gone. We're losing a few more guys. So again, brand new team next year. Hopefully Hayes has figured out how to put it together. We'll see what happens, right?
I was gonna say, I think college basketball, there was already kind of high churn on teams without the new transfer rules, and with the new transfer rules, I feel like it's just like the expectation has to be year one at this point, which is frustrating. But I mean, if you're gonna get 90% new players every single year anyway, you got to know how to do it with new players.
Yeah, I think it cuts down on the multi-year learning curve, player development. There is no player development, so throw that out the window for the most part. I mean, you get 1-2 years at most. I feel like it should be dialed in that much. I mean, for someone like Hayes, obviously fresh into the college coaching career as a head coach, I don't think 1 year was enough. 2 years with mediocre performance or trending the wrong direction, I think you start getting rid of coaches that aren't performing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But hey,
in the old world, he's put on notice, and I feel like that's the timeline we're on right now. And then in the old world, again, I do think we're at the point where you let the guy go. But I don't think it's going to happen. So
maybe we're still operating like the old world.
That's what I'm saying. Even in the old world, I feel like we're cut them loose territory. But in the new world, we're past it.
Yeah, we have a short bench. We only play 7. There's not a lot of room for error in there. Like everyone has to be firing all cylinders.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about how that kind of stuff works, but yeah, Coach Hayes does not play a deep bench. Like the starters start and they play majority of the game, which again would not bode well for us in the conference tournament, making and trying to make a run either, because everyone's just exhausted from playing the full game. I mean, I could do that. I think that I'm conditioned enough to be able to play 40 minutes.
I've seen you run suicides for hours, so yeah.
I'm pretty well in shape. Just I found the trick is just have a drink or two beforehand. It kind of eases the pressure.
And during,
get a little loose. My best 5Ks were always when I had a beer beforehand.
Alcohol is a performance enhancing drug. You're not allowed to drink before you go compete in the NCAA. So
I would not hang out with me without me being drunk, because I don't know why you guys ever would.
I'll try not to, but you're drunk a lot, so it's
Have you ever hung out with one of your drinking buddies like sober for some reason, like let's do lunch or whatever, like during a work day, and not drank or done something, and you're kind of like, what are we talking? Normally, just conversation flows. This is easy to talk to you, and then you're kind of like, so how's your day going? Work sucks. Yeah, I know.
So the weather, huh?
Yeah,
it's cold outside.
Weather be weathering. Even when Ryan and I do work lunches, we still find a way to drink. So
yeah, we drink plenty. I was about to say, I don't really know. I don't really have that experience.
Liquid lunches are always a good thing, right?
We eat tacos too, usually. So
yeah,
we drink more beer than we eat tacos. Not anymore. Jerkface moved. So anyhow,
what is El Tesoro's closed?
No, you moved. You're no longer.
Oh, okay. I thought I was like, what?
You're no longer
like
with
the owner of El Tesoro or something. I don't know. I can still go get tacos, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's
we got tacos out here too, and tacos in the middle. There's tacos everywhere, dude.
Taco. I did. my daughter sent me a text message saying, "What's your favorite food?" And I'm like, "Well, tacos. Tacos, I think, is the. A lot of people say pizza because you can get all kinds of different pizza toppings. I think tacos because you make anything to a taco.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's all leftover protein in this house turns into tacos.
Exactly. All right. Do we want to talk about the $1 beers? We talked about it a little bit. Do we want to talk about the $1 beer that they they embraced our idea
Yeah,
of
they took
$1
it.
beer?
Cool.
Sure.
I'm glad if they're listening to us and taking our advice. There are great things in the future of this program. So
I
I
think
love
they
it.
should also, if they're doing that, I think they should also have free box seats for anybody that runs a podcast covering Georgia State sports. I think that'd be a
Yes.
good idea.
Yeah.
It would
They really
enhance
are.
the game day experience for everybody. It'd get us out of the crowd. Get us out of the crowd.
Passes to the one suite in the box. Always. How about that? Dollar
It is
beers were
weird.
good.
What was that?
Dollar beers were good. Were solid. They got us through the end of our game and the next game.
That with the women's game, like I have memories of being. I sat in the top section of the box. I sat courtside at the box. I sat in regular. I was the concourse. That women's game, I was all over that place, and I don't remember at what point I was at which places, but Dollar Beer knows
I remember being a mitt in the box.
being a mid.
I went into a suite. Danny. We were everywhere.
The suite.
The suite. Yes.
Is athletics just going to be done with our ideas now? Because you're gonna
well-
Probably. Well, Amit said be me. So I went and I was him. It's fine. It's good.
Were you super negative the entire time?
No, I'm
complaining about
actually super
everything?
positive. I'm like, man, everything looks really good.
Oh,
food-wise
here Dana
in
says
here.
we had $20 worth of $1 beer. Yeah,
nice.
that was at one stop. I remember walking around with just like multiple cans in my hand, and they're all full. And someone like, "You want another beer?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want another beer."
You're giving me a beer? Sure, I'll take a beer.
And then like Ryan said, I didn't pay for any of it.
I don't think I did either.
I paid
Yeah.
for my first few, and then I went downstairs and got my hospitality too.
Yeah, but I had the hospitality. I was walking around with the hospitality too, and two $1 beer as well at the same time, just trying to figure out which one I was drinking from.
Very different experiences between the two. For
Yeah.
sure.
We had a decent little tailgate, our first and only tailgate on the top of the deck too.
It
gotta
sort
make
of
that more of a regular thing.
it sort of fell apart in the planning stage, but we pulled it together.
I'll take credit for the falling apart portion, but now that we
Not
know
really
that
you.
we can actually, now that we know we can actually park up there pretty easily, I think that maybe next season we really take advantage of that because I don't know what makes a top of one parking deck better than top of another parking deck, but that deck is just so much cooler than what the G deck was. The views are better of the skyline of downtown Atlanta on one side, Center Park Stadium on the other side, right over the highway. Big, huge open lot. I don't know. It was cool.
It's just a big deck, and everybody likes big deck.
Everyone likes big
one of my first apartments. Actually, this is when I was at school at Georgia State. We had this apartment, and everybody had these like little small like decks that could fit like two chairs and a tiny little table on it in the apartment complex. But for whatever reason, ours like spanned like two apartment buildings, and so I kept on calling it my long ass deck, and how I had so many people on my long ass deck at my apartment all the time. I found myself incredibly amusing at 20 years old.
Everyone was coming to your longhouse.
Everyone was coming to my long ass deck. It was I
like I mean, even though it was foggy, I like the view. I think the G deck gives you a different perspective, a different feeling. You're kind of like encompassed in the buildings here. You're kind of you have the nice panoramic view of the city, at least for the first 5 minutes I was there before it got too foggy.
Yeah, it did get foggy quick, didn't it? But yeah, you have Mercedes-Benz on one side, and then you have the Capitol and everything going over to the Quarry Building and MLK and the soccer facility over there on the other side. It's just a nice look. And then you turn around and you see the huge Center Park Stadium and all of Summerhill and all that's got going on over there. It's sharp. It was fun.
It won't be a bad place when we get priced out of our current tailgating. That
Exactly.
top corner is premium.
They do need to embrace us and put a porta potty up there.
That would be a problem. Good point.
Yeah,
I was worried about that with the kiddo.
Because that was like one of the nice things about the G
Clashing
deck.
South.
For so long, they had construction going on down there at the bottom level. So if you had to, there was always porta potties down there, and then just drains for some people. Not me, but there were drains for other people.
There's Clashing
And
South too. You could sneak in there.
you can always go in Classroom South as well. You don't really have that option, and unless you can con somebody into that entrance to let you into the bathrooms right there, which maybe that can be a thing that they help us out with. I think they should do more. They should do more to encourage us tailgating at the parking deck. I think so.
Yeah. But I think this year there went a lot of planned tailgating. Maybe it was last year too. They kind of in previous years they were like, "Are you going to be out there on Saturday?" And they would make sure that there were porta potties out there. I feel like last year maybe there wasn't, and then this year we just didn't tailgate that much.
Well, the person that was doing that back then is no longer in that role, and there's somebody else in that role who could give less than two shits about whether or not we come out to any games, tailgate, or do anything at all. So
That seems right.
That's cool.
There's
So
also
we had
there's
someone
also
that was
that.
looking out for us. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just thought there was a random porta potty out there.
No, we got taken care of. Those got put there.
Yep, for sure.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I lost my section over here. All right. Was there anything else about basketball?
Nah.
Old Dominion. I mean, like, not to get too deep into it, like that Old Dominion game was awesome. It was just an absolute epic blowout, and we got them again this week on Saturday. So keep that money rolling. That was fun. I hadn't seen a game like that in a lot. Did we even have games like that under Lanier, where we just got up 20, 30 points ahead and just never looked back?
I feel like we had a very select few, but not
A handful, maybe like those D2 games or something like that.
Yeah. What was the Bible College or?
Oh yeah, Carver Bible College.
Yeah.
But enrollment of 60 people and like 12 of them are on the basketball team.
They roll it on their short bus. And you're like, what
The payment was a pizza party. And not joking, that was the payment. The payment was a pizza party.
But DeVito's pizza. You don't get Pizza Hut or anything like that.
Yeah. All right. Football. So we already mentioned that the Kennesaw State. We talked a lot about Kennesaw State last week. We don't need to rehash all that.
No.
But it's official now. It is official. It was speculated when we talked last week. It's official. It's going to be at Kennesaw in 2026. It's going to be here in 2028. We'll see what happens. Do you guys have anything else about that?
I'm just hoping the Kennesaw State fans not lurking today to interact on Kennesaw State. I'm excited about it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think it's good to play them in state. I think it'll draw fans for both teams. It'll be interesting to see how that works when we go there because their stadium is pretty tiny. So we'll have to get tickets.
Oh, there he is.
We'll have to get tickets somehow. I don't know how we're gonna do it.
We'll pay Kennesaw State in pizza as well.
Man, we should totally order DeVito's. Just get like 50 DeVito's and have it delivered.
Do you think they'll let us bring in our own pizza boxes of DeVito's pizza and just like start handing them out to the crowds at Kennesaw State?
No, I don't even know where like the away fans sit there
at home watching on TV. Or sorry,
no,
it's Conference USA. It's on Conference USA. So they don't have a TV contract, so you have to watch. I think you're supposed to watch it on a gas pump. You got to go fill your car up in gas.
You can listen, on the radio.
And so Dave,
Jabari, I have a question. I know you're listening. Uh-oh. Where the hell do away fans sit in your stadium?
I think I think it's I was touching on it earlier. I didn't want to like give the agenda item away or anything, but earlier I was talking about how it's good to play the in-state games. I think that it'll be popular. We'll fill up the stadium more than we typically do, and that'll be good for the program. So I welcome it. We just got to win,
Yeah, I enjoyed watching the Atlanta United play there. So it'll be nice. It'll be a nice little venue to check out.
We got to do better in football against Kennesaw State than we did in basketball. Let's try to not let our head coach out and get to bring in somebody new and a whole new squad. Because that really did. I mean, I think that any other year of playing Kennesaw State like we did in basketball, we would have absolutely demolished them. And we did. That's who we used to have private practices with begin the season. They didn't report the score, and then now we're playing them and losing in basketball. So All right, I'm not going to post that comment, Jabari. It goes against my moral understanding to say anything
Well,
positive about Ryan.
Here, and then
So-
and the other nice thing is, we get an away game that we don't really have to travel to.
Which is nice.
We get
That
to
was-
go and not really travel.
Maybe the Sun Belt can treat us like they did this year with Georgia Tech, and we can stay in Atlanta for the first 8 weeks of the season,
And then never again.
Yeah, and then just never be home again. Yeah,
I do see where we sit. We're sitting in the corner at their stadium. Not in the corner I want to be in. I want to be in the Lowe's seating. That was a good time. Man, so easy to get beer. That's all I remember from being in that stadium. But yeah, we're on the visitor side, but in the corner. Kind of like
you were in KSU Stadium?
Yes, I went to it. Atlanta United played there for some reason. I guess Ben's was tied up or something. And so they had an away match or some champion match thing. And we played at Kennesaw. We sat in the low seating, which had its own exclusive beer line. And I don't know if you know anything about Atlanta United fans, but they drink a metric ton of beer.
No.
well, it's got to be metric because it's
It's foreign.
fake. It's faux ball.
So I would go get beer, and the lines for beer for the regular sections would be a mile long. At one point I had people paying me to go get beer from the Lowe's beer stand and hand it to them. Like I got $5 bills from people were like, buy me 2 beers, I'll give you $5. I'm like, okay, sure. So
Easy.
got 2 beers.
Easy money.
Yeah. And then people started trying to sneak into the Lowe's because
That's what I've been saying for a while. Is like we need to take over one of the Lowe's sections at the park.
yeah.
But a contingency of me doing that or wanting us to be there is we have our own beer person that's right there, a beer cart person right there, so we can just grab our beer immediately, and preferably $1.
It would be great to get the fans to show out and the students to come up there. I think that'd be huge if we could really buy a shit ton of tickets and get a lot of attendance.
Well, another thing they should do with that section, because with those low seating, they have that big, huge cement, just blah right there, and all those sections, all 3 of them. Like that should be an area where they encourage people to bring out signs and banners and hang them over the side and keep track of stuff. It's an old baseball park where they used to put the strikes up there. Let's put down sacks or touchdown or some kind of stat or whatever. You're putting out a sign each time something happens. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There should be a concerted effort to try to find a way to make that more of your supporter section type thing, a la United. And we've talked about that in the past. Yeah. I think it'd be fun.
And I think it'd be super cool to have all of them have some urban murals, like the rest of Summer Hill has all the murals and stuff. To have one that went over all the levels there, and I don't know, look cool, and it would blend in with the neighborhood. And
yeah, get some graffiti artists to actually do some really nice Blue Panther mix ups or just other stuff.
Yeah, whatever they want. I mean, make it a competition between the 3 and give away a prize for whoever wins or something. It'd be cool.
Embrace the fact that we're downtown urban university. Make it look like a, I said that before. I wanted to make the sports arena look like it was between 2 alleyways of 2 buildings and playing. Just embrace that whole concept, the whole concrete jungle stuff. So,
well, I still think the box is just a great big canvas. That they should let somebody do it, just a ginormous mural on every side of that. But I understand it's a lot of space.
There's a lot of oh, you mean the outside of it,
the outside of it, yeah, just paint
massive.
It up, just.
I say start with the parking deck. I think do something with the parking deck right there. They didn't really do anything to it. It is a big, huge, just cement eyesore as it is.
Deck. Yeah,
they could have done the whole lattice with the kudzu and stuff all around it to make it a little greener or something. But no, get some graffiti artists out there to really do it up. Some big murals. Mm-hmm. Have a good, huge Panther slam ducking a basketball on that huge side that's facing the interstate. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. How many eyeballs would see that? And put an ad on there too, right? For the program, just Georgia State basketball or something. I don't know.
Could we do a projector on that side? Could you actually project a big huge thing?
That's the cheapest thing, probably. I would imagine.
Yeah. And just have
I
something
don't know why we don't
there.
do it. I think we even have lights that we could light it up at night more often. I don't think we
broadcast the game the game that's going on at that time. We broadcast the game on the side of the buildings as people drive by. They actually see the game happening inside. That'd be
It might be
cool.
illegal. Might be illegal.
Might be
I know
distracting.
there's a lot of rules about having what you can actually have as far as moving animation or works on signs, billboards, and signs like that.
I think
But
Georgia
what if we
Tech's
just did it?
billboard is technically illegal, but they were grandfathered in.
The little
A dinky
light
one?
board thing they have.
But it because of how low it is and how close it is to the highway, I'm pretty sure like 10 years ago I heard, and so who knows if
I
it's
remember
even
hearing something like that.
that
I remember hearing
it's
that.
grandfathered in, but it's technically illegal.
That's funny.
Just get somebody to pay money for advertising on it, and the state will eat it up. They'll find a way to change the rules as soon as money starts coming in.
Oh yeah. I mean, why do you
But
think they got grandfathered in? They bribed the right guy.
I don't know. In Georgia,
They bribed the right
getting-
Georgia fan in the state legislature.
I was going to say, in Georgia, getting anything passed that benefits Georgia Tech is actually kind of an accomplishment because that place is littered with so many UGA fans. They don't want to do anything for that program.
That's true. It's true. Thanks, Jabari. By the way, KSU is good at basketball this year. I guess so. I don't know. I don't
Pat
follow.
noticed.
I don't follow Conference USA. So
Compared to us, it's probably true.
you probably are better than us this year. What else we got, David?
Defensive coordinator changed in 24 hours. Football.
Stupid
That was fun.
P4.
Wait, what happened?
MFers.
So we let go or had our defensive coordinator move on to something, and we hired, I think, a cornerbacks coach who was Darren Wilson from Arkansas was going to be our DC this season.
Solid pickup.
And then he took a cornerback's job. I think it's a cornerback's job at Florida, and it probably doubled his paycheck going from DC here to position coach there. And within 24 hours, we already hired his replacement. We got Travis Pearson, the cornerbacks coach at Troy. And so the fact that this happened so quickly leads me to believe that this conversation between Wilson and McGee probably happened a week or two ago. And it just took time for all the paperwork to get finalized or whatever. And so McGee had time to figure out who the next guy was going to be because it happened super quickly. Only other explanation is Pearson was number 2 on that list or was already in McGee's head as somebody he was looking
You're
at.
probably right. They probably knew that was coming.
I feel like McGee is so put together. He's got a list to replace himself. Like he has it down where he goes, if I'm leaving, this is the next head coach at Georgia State. Like he's probably got a list of people for every single role in that program.
Well, in his role as AD, he's got to have that kind of list. So.
Exactly. As AD, he has to have that role. But you're giving him more credit than I would, Tim. If I were in that role, yes, I would have my go-to list ready for all the coaches should someone leave. But as far as myself, if I'm gone, I have the place. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't actually. You guys are telling me about this right now. But I wasn't very excited about that hire in the first place. Like we talked about it, and you can probably go back to the episode where I was like looking it up, and the guy lost a bunch of games. He's not a big winner, and his secondary was not good. It was like dead last in the SEC and really terrible overall. So I'm not. Maybe this is not the worst.
So how do you feel about a Troy pickup then? Troy State, Troy who?
I think they have a lot more experience. Somebody from Troy has a lot more experience at our level of football, and Troy is a successful football program at our level, and so that's not the worst. I mean, but I don't know anything about the guy. I don't know any of his I can go look and have a better opinion later, but I don't know.
He does have without getting into too deep into the details, he does have a better resume as far as calling games from the defense perspective. He has 1 year in high school as defensive coordinator and 7 years in college football as a defensive coordinator in the past, whereas Wilson only had 2 years at the college ranks as a DC. So we got some more experience there. Whether it's good experience or bad experience, that we'll find out. But I just like the fact that we saw that news come out on Thursday or Friday, whatever it was, and less than 24 hours, we already had a new guy in place. We'll see. I don't think it'll mess it up too much. We'll see what happens. I don't think it'll
We'll
affect anything. I do like getting somebody from Troy. I like getting somebody from the Sun Belt, promoting a position coach up. It would have been, maybe a little bit better if it was somebody that had been in the east side of the division or in the conference, just for the more experience with our opponents. But, Troy's been playing, 2 East teams, every year, just like we've been playing 2 West teams. So he's got some experience in that regard. And we'll see what happens.
Sure. I just like the fact we just tapped on someone from the Sun Belt and said, come here. And they're like, okay, yep, I'm in.
It is nice when, you get somebody within your conference to come here and they're like, yeah, a lot of people would consider it a lateral move or, moving between programs, not that big of a deal. But when they're willing to come to Georgia State over wherever they are, that they see that we're a way better institution than whatever the hell. Like Georgia State is the best institution to be at in the entire
Sun Belt,
conference. Sure. No, hands down.
You could also make the argument that he's like looking at this in the fact of, well, they just had an awesome recruiting class. I could get in there. I could be the DC. We could have a really good season, and I could get picked up with a P5 team, P4 team, or P5 maybe next year. I don't know. Who knows what happens?
Maybe McGee takes him with him to coach the Jaguars next year or something like that.
Sure. I mean, entirely possible.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, not the South Alabama Jaguars. the worst named mascot in all of the Sun Belt, but
I like I'm like looking up this guy right now. I like that he I like that he spent a lot of time in as a high school coach and was very successful there because we're recruiting Georgia pretty well. Maybe he can have us recruiting Alabama pretty well.
Yeah, that would be good as well.
Yeah, yeah, and Alabama's a fine place to recruit.
All right, we've gone for a little bit. Touch on a couple little extra little things here. Baseball, we mentioned it earlier. They swept their opening series. Weird thing is they're supposed to be playing Jacksonville State this week, and that got canceled. And now we're playing UT Martin. I don't know what happened with Jacksonville State, but they also canceled the track and field tournament that was going on this past weekend. But it's not like something's wrong because that baseball team is playing Akron now instead. Something's going on in Jacksonville State. I don't know what's happening. It's weird, but kudos to the baseball team for getting off to a good start. Beat UT Martin, and they got Kennesaw State as well next week. So
at least we had a replacement, right? I mean,
yeah, they're still playing the games. It's weird. Maybe this is something that's actually already kind of figured out before the season started, and just no one ever thought to actually post it. All right, Jabari is just on fire. Jack State's trash. I'll give you that one. Sure. Another Conference USA team. They're all trash. So thanks, Jabari. All right. All right. Softball. Coach Becca Owens got her first win. We were 0-8. We were 0-8 going into this past weekend before we got our first win against Miami of Ohio. But it wasn't like it was a bad schedule to start the season. They had a couple of tournaments against some pretty good P4 programs. So
this is her first year. It's her first year, right?
First year as head coach.
All right,
she got her first win on Saturday, or second win today against Jabari's Owls. So take that, Jabari. Panthers on top. Owls going down.
State of Atlanta. Drinking beers every day.
And the other thing I got is beach volleyball got voted preseason top team in the conference. Shocker. There's no Sun Belt team to compete with Georgia State, Sandy Panthers. So that's just
what amount of NIL will it take for us to win the national championship? That is the
beach volleyball
question. Yeah, sure.
I mean, we're so close without NIL money.
I know. How much would it take? Like 100K?
I feel like that's what we should do. Yeah, they say like if you're in debt, you should pay off the lowest credit card first to get that balance done and done with, whatever. That's what we should do with our NIL. Let's go for the spot. Beach volleyball cannot cost that much money. Let's toss all the NIL money. Mike Holmes, if you're listening, take that $534,000 and give butter. Throw that entire thing into beach volleyball right now. I want a Georgia State national championship. And beach volleyball is our best place to do it. No. Let's go out and get Gabby Reese's daughter. I don't know if she's playing. I don't know if Gabby Reese has a daughter. I don't know if she's playing beach volleyball. She does, but let's go out and get her anyways. Let's impregnate Gabby Reese. Use that $534,000. in NIL money to clone Gabby
Brian's
Brian's
gone.
out. To clone Gabby Reese.
I mean, I don't think it's going to take that much money, but I mean, how much money would it take? You put together a really solid beach volleyball team. You just run through don't even know what the whole thing's called, and you win it all. You get your national championship, then you dial it back. You're like, we're good. We got our natty. We're good to
take
go.
all the money out. Take everything out. All right, now we're gonna put this into golf.
I got about 350.
Man, golf used to be good too for us, and that kind of fell off.
We're not. I was always tracking the golf performances, and like we're always like 12th or 14th out of 16 teams and crap like that. It was never too good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So also this is all right. Either one of you want to guess which season of beach volleyball? How long have we had beach volleyball as a sport?
8
in
years.
NCAA? How many? What'd you say?
I'll say 8.
I said 10.
8, 10, 13. This is the 13th season of beach volleyball. That's
Wow.
crazy.
We're getting old.
Shit, we said the same thing. We both thought the same thing.
We're gonna girls that were born the year that Georgia State started beach volleyball are gonna start being recruited for Georgia State volleyball very, very soon. So that's where we're at.
All right.
That's wild. I think that's all I got. We had a lot of topics. It was a lot of fun.
Enough, you know?
Yeah.
You sure
I do have
else?
we can save it for last call, but I got a college football playoff thing as well. Changes.
Oh no!
Last call.
What are they going to do now?
Well, you have to stay tuned.
I guess I'll have to stay around for last call, huh?
Exactly.
Anyway, I'll take it away. Thanks for listening. We're going to take a quick break here.
Oh,
get some more beer.
Sorry, my thing messed up. Sorry, you good?
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, get some beers, probably use the restroom because I got to go really bad. If you like what you heard or you didn't, please join our Patreon at patreon.com/David Lano. You get live streaming access to Last Call, discounts on amazing merch. David will be cooking up something for this fall. Stay tuned there. Group chat action, all the breaking news you want, and then more breaking news stories about floods in the dorms at Georgia State. Adult beverages at tailgates, which I guess we don't have anymore. Maybe at a baseball game and more. $5. You'd be a fan of our show. Jabari, we'd love to have you aboard. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.